Crying Shames, and just a great song, lads, isn't it?
Oh, what fantastic!
Yeah. Just check that before. That was March '66, and the Merseys had Sorrow, April '66. A month, in fact, 2 weeks apart.
Who did the original, please?
The Drifters. What a great version.
That was dumb.
But people forget, written by Bert Bacharach and Hilliard.
Another great version. Zoot Money did a version.
In fact, remember Richie said to me, the best version of all was Zoot Money's, Richie thought.
I've heard his version of it.
Because they reckon, talking to George Robinson, that was the version, I think, that they based the version on.
Well, we were in London Hideaways in '66, and we were down at the Marquee. We were on with Zoot Money's big roll band. Yeah. And we said to him, what about the Crying Shames version? And he said, wasn't it?
I don't know, that's unfair.
Well, what he meant was, hit the sales. His record, they both got hits, of course, both, but only to lower charts, weren't they? Both of them. If one had been left out, Zoot Money's version was great. It was a great version, but great song anyway. Song's a good song anyway.
It stands the test of time.
It does.
Weddings and funerals now, isn't it?
Yeah, funerals sadly.
I know in Scotland it's still really.
I remember going to Charlie's funeral. His daughter sang at the funeral. Charlie's daughter, which is a lovely voice, but very sad occasion. Far too young. I call from Elsa Hawkswell in Gattaca. Jeff, did you go to Lawrence Road School in the mid-50s? And you had a butcher. If you was, she knows you, and you're a pound.
No, no, I didn't go to Lawrence Road School.
What school did you go to?
When I went to Garston CV originally until I was 11, and then I went to Speaks, Stapleton Avenue Secondary Model School for boys.
Hit the post, shucks.
For boys.
No, thanks for the call. Our number's Pat's in the cupboard. It's a big cupboard these days, a posh cupboard. 709-9333. 709-9333. It's Frankie Connor, Jeff Nugent, and Dave Fergie. Mersey Beat survivors, because you are, aren't we? We all are, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
I think so. But Mersey Beat, it's vast. And it should never be forgotten because it put them hard in rock and roll.
But did you think, Jeff, when you were kids, I know you're friends with George Harrison and you and George, when they're neighbours, weren't you, up that part of the world?
Well, we played together on the street corners.
That's right. Did you, you couldn't have imagined in wildest dreams, could you, that, what would happen? And you obviously both love music, you and George.
Oh, no. I always remember George, we were 15, and of course I'd started to go with Bob Evans then, and the Undertakers were starting to, well, it wasn't the Undertakers.
No, what name do you call then?
The Vegas 5.
Vegas 5.
In 56, 57, I went with Bob Evans as the Bob Evans 5 Shillings.
Yeah.
They split, cut a long story short, and we formed, a few weeks later, we formed the Vegas 5.
Yeah.
Then, through a misprint in the Echo, we became the Undertakers.
A misprint?
A misprint. It's a long story. But apparently the Vegas 5 ended up in birth, deaths and marriages.
That's a story there. Do you have a 61? Do you have a 61?
That was 1959-60.
Was that early, was it?
It was very early. But we were working under two names at that time because we were working out the Vegas 5.
And for tax reasons as well.
Well, no, because we weren't worried about it. We never bothered. We were kids.
Yeah. Money? What money doesn't
Yeah, that's it. And what we were getting, what was the tax going to take out of a quid?
You just loved it. You loved playing.
Of course, still.
Were you doing sort of Donovan stuff, skiffle? Were you doing?
We started off when I was only 13. As I say, George Harrison is. It was we teamed up. I teamed up with a guy called Dave Keogh, and his sister Christine Keogh, who later on joined the Littlewood Songsters.
Oh right.
And then she became right-hand person to Stan Stennett.
Oh yeah.
Stan Stennett.
Good entertainer.
Unfortunately, Stan was brilliant.
Yeah.
Good guitar player.
He was a good, yeah.
And he died. Of course, it left Christine at a loose end because she was virtually with him for years. And of course, he had his own plane, so everywhere he went, he flew. And she was devastated when he died, absolutely devastated. She had a bit of a breakdown, I think, after Unfortunately, I've lost contact. So anyway, I'm digressing. So we formed a skiffle group with Brian Foy on T-chess bass and Brew Mandel. Myself on guitar, Dave Keogh on guitar, and myself vocals, and that was it. Oh, and Christine on washboard.
Extraordinary. 50 years ago now, I mean, who'd have believed?
Well, believe it or not, it's the Undertaker's 50th anniversary this year.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, superb. Yeah. We'll mention that in a minute because I mentioned last night's show Marty Wild at the Empire. It's Frankie Connor, Dave and Jeff. Let's go into the 70s and back to the lads shortly. Listen to this track, you'll love this. A lot. This is a guy you like. Just one of those songs. Operators call the song. Great number. It was 72 was the year. It's Frankie, my guest Dave and Jeff talking kind of Mersey Beat. Last night at the Floral Pavilion, I got an email here. Frankie, what a great night it was last night at the Floral. Hal Noel, Undertakers, Vince Earl and Marty Wild, superb ballad singer, the best since Billy Fury. Laughter, acts were wonderful. This is from Tony Guilfoyle and Eve in Hampstead Road. And Wallacey, thanks Tony for the email. Jeff, last night, you obviously on the bill, you opened the show, didn't you?
We opened the show, yeah.
Great night.
Yes, the audience they were so 100% behind it. It was so attentive. It was unbelievable. Every band virtually got a standing ovation.
Says it there.
And Hal was so funny.
Yeah. He's a great comic. I mean, he is. He's a wonderful guy.
He's a great compere as well.
And Marty still sounds as good as ever, Marty Wilde.
He's never altered. I remember seeing him. Well, we were talking about it last night.
How old is he now, Jeff?
He's 71. I remember seeing him years ago, and I think it was only walking past. We were working down south, and we were been in London. And I were walking past. I think it was the Strand Theatre, and it was on. It was the Billy Fiore, Marty Wilde, Joe Brown. It was the full.
Yeah. Not Eddie Cochran then.
Eddie Cochran, no, he hadn't come over then.
Right.
Or if he had, he wasn't on this particular show. And I was only, and I went and saw the receptionist. I said, look, I'm working down the road. And went back. I told her we were based. She said, oh, I've heard of you. I said, can we go in? She said, you can't go down the stage, but you can stand by the doors and watch the show from the back.
So nothing like...
I actually watched somewhere. I only stayed about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. I think Billy was on at the time, Billy Fiore. And of course it was coming down when that type of act, the Mersey beat was starting to...
Yeah, and the solo singers were getting kind of pushed, like Cliff, when they get pushed to one side, weren't they?
But Joe Brown was like part of the backing band. It was amazing the way it worked. They were all sort of worked in, like a Mersey Cats and Mersey Rats. It's like a jam.
Yeah.
But
all pieced together like jigsaw.
Wasn't Joe the first 335 in Britain?
That's what the talk is.
Yeah, the talk is that he had the first 335.
Cliff had the first one to give to Hank, didn't he? The first Fender.
And yeah, Hank Marvin used to play in Antoria.
Yeah.
And Marty Wilde has still got his Antoria, like Johnny Guitars.
Humble beginnings, you see.
Yeah, he's got a photograph on one of his albums of this Antoria.
Now tell me, Jeff, obviously last night was a wonderful night. There's more nights planned on. Tell me what's happening with this. You've got a Hard Day's Night, a new venue, haven't you, for you? What's this about?
Well, the whole idea, it started last year really, and I thought, somehow we've got to get a sort of heritage end to this Mersey beat, you know, so it's not forgotten. And that's why we started this liverpoolbeat.com site, which is the truth. It's real, what really happened, interviews with people like Jeff.
People who actually were there.
But yeah, and you know, there's so much nonsense talked on the internet, which is clearly not true.
Well, Bob Waller's Mythew Street is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we thought, what we've got to do, in addition to having a website, is we've got to let the people see what all the fuss was about. And these bands, as you well know, because you were one of them, weren't you, with the Hideaways, a great band. You know, it was just fantastic performers, and we want the kids to see what the fuss was all about. So the Hard Day's Night have very kindly given us the John Lennon suite down there. It's Bill Sigmund suite, but it's full of John Lennon pictures.
Just explain though, Fergie, where it is, of course, it's a brand new hotel in town. People don't know the area.
Yeah,
it's a brand new hotel. It's a Beatle hotel.
A Beatle hotel,
themed, isn't it?
It's a themed hotel, yes.
It's an amazing place. You know, it's just got memorabilia all over the place.
Bang in the town centre, North John Street, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right,
corner of Matthew Street.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't been has got to go and see it when it finally gets its problem sorted out. It's got to go and see it. The rooms are absolutely immaculate, and the paintings by Shannon are unbelievable.
And they've got a new one by Klaus Vormann, which they paid a country fortune for.
I believe so, yeah.
You should go in just to see that. But the venue itself is fabulous. It's almost like, it feels like the Iron Door Club. Remember the Iron Door?
I love the Iron Door.
You know, it's not cavern, because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's Hari's Bar, which is absolutely brilliant for people who just want to sit there and have a drink. We've got a little acoustic act in there.
Oh, sounds tremendous.
But the whole idea is just to show people what great showmen people like Jeff were. You know, I mean, you know, but a lot of the kids of today have got no idea where this sound came from.
Well, I saw Jeff last month at Ali Williams' 80th birthday, and the band were tremendous. Undertakers, still rock and roll, tremendous.
I mean, you know, you talk about garage, indie. The Mersey beat was the root of all.
I don't like titles, hip hop, rap. It's music. There's two kinds of music, good and bad.
It's that funny. Apparently, our music now is called garage. That's what the class. That's the way they've titled it. It's garage music.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's rock and roll.
We just rocked harder
than
everybody
It's
else.
all rock and roll to me, said Billy Joel, isn't it? It's all rock and roll
to me, and I'm putting this the nice way, it's kick your butt music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree, Jeff. I just think too also, you get too fancy, can't you, with titles? You can get just too fanciful anyway.
I think you can with music, and I think rock and roll is made to be played straight. It's not winding up and
these guys, when I saw these guys in the early days, it was always thunder. That was the word that came into my head. As soon as I saw them, it was thunder beat. You know,
I play my guitar.
People call it the atom beat, didn't they, whatever. But it was the real heavy rock played British style, you know.